Hello everyone, welcome. It is the Future Farmer Show. Every Sunday, CBC Television, Live TV, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for having us in your home. It's the first day of the week. We want to remind you how important farming is to our nation. My name is Orisha Jolomi. I am Pastor Jolomi to many people, but first, I sit here as leading the Leadership Farm. The Leadership Farm is an organization set up to see to the transformation of Zambia. We feel our part is to see how do we contribute to Zambia being from third world to first world by 2064. And to do that, we work with partners to create this program because we see agriculture as a very, very important vehicle to take us into that transformation. So the Future Farmer Show, as the name says, what should farming look like in our future? And how do we begin to invest into that now? Farming, agriculture, agribusiness is one way where when we talk about the government is talking about jobs, job creation, one area that has enough room to employ over 60% of Zambians is agriculture. And we want to see this program, how can we achieve that? So welcome to the Future Farmer Show. What are we looking at today? What do we have for you? The focus of this program today is on a mind shift. How do we achieve mind shift? Why mind shift? We've been doing things, you go to farmers and they tell you, oh, we've been farming for a long time before you were born, even when there was a Union Jack, and we know how to do it. But when we keep doing the same things the same way, we'll keep getting the same results we've been getting. And most times we don't get much. We just get food enough to eat, but we're not seeing the value coming out of it. So today we're focusing on the farmer. We're focusing on what makes that farmer become a successful agribusiness person. And farmer here is male and female, particularly our youth. So today is based on knowledge inputting into the farmer and showing how you can gain knowledge, access knowledge, and use knowledge to create business for yourself. So welcome to the Future Farmer Show. We have so much for you, and we will go into it right after this break. Don't go away. The Future Farmer Show starts now.
The Future Farm is really about generating knowledge and knowledge about farming. How can you make knowledge more profitable? How can knowledge work? Not just provide food on your table, but also to be a business. Because we know that farming is really the employment of over 60% of Zambians and actually over 40% of Africans.
The benefits of having mechanization on our farms, quite a number of them. One of them is you have good quality of work on your farm.
So to the existing farmers, what is key with farming and the future of farming is that you need to be knowledgeable.
We're rolling, and it is time to look at what makes me move. It's a mind shift. Today is mind shift. How do I move from agriculture to agribusiness? How do I move from farming to successful farming? We've come to realize it's not about planning. You've planned all you want. You've planted and thought about planting, but the most important factor to the success of farming and agriculture is the farmer. So the quality and the value and the thinking of the farmer determines the production and the products, the operations of the farm. So we've been looking at inputs to the ground, inputs to the machines, but we've not looked at how do we add to the farmer. So today to do that, we have our farm specialist, we have our agronomist, Sheila. Thank you for joining us today. We're starting the program with you today, and we're looking at your farm operations, Future Farm. We want to see what the future of farmer is. But we always focus on fertilizer, seeds, weather, armyworms, all those things, but nobody seems to focus on the farmer. When you talk about the farmer, and the farmer says, we've been farming. Yeah, we know farming. We've been farming. My great-grandfather is a farmer. But you don't see them move. You don't see their products. You don't see their inputs. How important is a mind shift? How important is inputting into the mind of the farmer? What will make this farmer successful? Is it the fertilizer? Is it the ground? What is the most important thing for a farmer to succeed, in your opinion?
Yeah, so with farming, I think the key thing now that it's good we are talking about it is the mind shift. There's been so much focus and attention on inputs, fertilizers, even machines. There's been so much innovation and development with the machine, but I think very little with the farmer. So what we need...
So the machines are improving, the seeds are improving,
the fertilizers
are improving, the rain is
weather
getting
is also
better,
changing, because
but
now
the farmer
is not changing. So then the farmer is the key person who's actually implementing these operations. So there's been very little focus, and that's why it's important now that we need this mind shift. When we talk about agriculture as a business, we need a mind that should be able to see this business. And in having that mind shift to the business side of agriculture, then you start appreciating what you have to do to make the profit, because now you know it's a business. It's not doing things the way people have been farming for a very long time, but still agriculture is still a sector which people are shunning, thinking that there's no money because the farmer is not being equipped. The farmer is not adapting to the changes that are happening.
So the farmer has looked at farming from the point of view of solving hunger, but never seen farming as the point of view of prosperity.
Exactly, and the potential is huge.
They see farming as, I want to have enough food to eat, but they don't see that this place can make me the richest person in my country.
Exactly, because not everybody is in farming, and the farmer is the one who should produce to eat, and then there's the aspect of feeding people, but feeding people as a business, of course, not as a charity. So everybody is eating and not everybody is farming. So you see the potential with the farmer. So there hasn't been much development on the side of the farmer. So there's so much happening, changes on all other aspects, but then on the person. And this can be the farm owner, because the farm owner is also in a position to identify gaps within that business. So they also have to develop themselves. It can be a manager, it can be a farm worker. So all of these people, continuous learning.
You know, when you come, most of the time you go in our areas where we live. On this side you have Mtendere, on this side you have Kablonga. On this side you have Sonnendale, on this side you will have another compound. Now the people building in the compounds, they buy the same cement, the same iron rods, the same roofing sheets. But this person is building a house and the bathroom toilet is outside. And this person is building, and everything is master contained, So it's not the cement that is the problem. It's not the rods or the wood or the sheets. The problem is the mind. They're paying the same price. But one is living large luxury, the other one is living in a small shanty, and they call the same God. So the difference between that person and this person is knowledge, the mind.
It's the mind, and it's the same with farming, because when you look at the seeds, you look at the fertilizer, it's for everybody.
It's the same for everybody.
But then when you look at the farming levels, you find this one is a commercial farmer, this one is a small scale farmer, but the seed company does not say this seed is for the small scale, this seed is for the commercial farmer. But it's the mindset, because the one who's farming for business wants to apply the principles that will give them the maximum yield. And then the one who is very comfortable being a small scale farmer, they'll buy the same seed, they'll put in the same cost. It's coming at a cost because it has to give you a certain yield.
It's the same thing they're buying.
Exactly. So they'll buy the same seed, but then they're just comfortable to have enough to eat.
So that's why this person is always waiting for government for inputs, because he's looking at it as, be merciful unto me, government. But this other person is a business person and is buying inputs, partnering with industry participants.
Yes, and looking at it as a business. So when they buy the seed, they are looking at the profit already. They are securing their profits because they want to invest, they want to grow. If they do 10 hectares this season, they want to get enough to be able to expand on 20 hectares next season, 30 hectares next season, and that's the business, the business side of farming.
So tell me therefore, for you as AGCO, my agriculture company, what do you have for me to transform me from this? Because it's the input. You know, you travel around, you see on this farm is brown, the heights of the maize one is like that, because different heights, weeds everywhere. You pass on the road, you see it on the road, and you wonder, is this a farm? Then next to it, you see everything green, everything organized. So the only difference is knowledge.
Yes, so we at the Martin Rickenhagen Future Farm, we are here to help you maximize your land. And when I say maximize your land, it doesn't matter how big your piece of land is, because people think farming as a business
It's
requires
about big
bigger
land.
farmland, sorry, but that's not the case. So we are here to help you maximize your land. Doesn't matter 1 acre, 2 acre, how best are you maximizing your land? So with maximizing your land, we want you to understand what type of soils you have. Do you know what type of crops will perform better in that piece of land? Because it's not about your neighbor growing this crop, you want to grow it as well. You don't have the same soils with your neighbor. So we want you to understand your land. We want you to understand the crops. We want you to understand how your soil will interact with water. We want you to understand the nutrition part of the crop. We want you to understand.
So Sheila, let me interrupt you here. Instead of you just highlighting, maybe what I should do is step away and you just take some time and unpack to us what this knowledge you have and tell us, in that knowledge, what are we going to get? Can you do that with me? So I want to get out of the shop so that I can leave it to you and you can tell us what we have. Is that good?
Brilliant, yeah.
Good. So take it away. I'm out of here. Thank you for this.
Most of you might be wondering what agronomy is. Agronomy is basically a science and technology that is engaged in food production, because its main focus is on edible crops. So this is a science of growing your crops, basically going into details of principles and practices of crop production. But it also looks at soil management, because when you talk about crop production, you are planting your seed in the soil, and the aspect of soil management is very important. So that is what agronomy is. And most of you engaged in farming, you are scientists, because agronomy is a science, and it's based on facts. It's based on research. So we are scientists who are doing agriculture, and this segment of agriculture is called agronomy. Its focus is on crop production. So the first module is crop establishment. So for us to establish a successful cropping system, we have to understand our soil, and this is the module that is going to look at all the aspects of soil management. So we'll look at the soil quality, we'll look at the soil texture, we'll look at the soil profile, and we'll also look at the various operations that you undertake in the field that are interacting with your soil, like cultivation. How is this cultivation system impacting on this cropping system? We look at your moisture. What practices are able to retain moisture? So this is the module that is going to go into all of those details. You understand your crops. What kind of crop will perform better with this kind of soil? So with the crop establishment, it looks at how are you establishing your crop? How are your soil? You understand what type of soil, what crop will be better for this soil, what cultivation practices you should implement, and how it's all coming together to impact on your crop production. We also look at things like managing the soil generally. Soil erosion, how do you protect your soil from erosion? We look at soil compaction. Whenever we have heavy rainfall, some of the soils get compacted, but it takes you to understand what type of soils you have, the kind of rainfall that you are receiving, and understanding the practices that you are implementing in your field to either minimize soil compaction, because when your soils are compacted, then you know that you affect the root development. Your roots are not so strong to push through into the soil. So once you understand your soils, you understand the practices that you have to implement in your field, then you know that you are headed for a successful cropping system. So this is the module that will make you understand your soil, how to manage them, and the operations, and how they impact on crop production. So most of us are now planting, and some of us have already planted, and I hope we are going to manage our soils very well in order to have a successful season. The season has just started, so we should all be headed for a successful cropping season. So The next module is plant nutrition. So from the first module, which is crop establishment, you've understood your soils, you've planted successfully, and then you move on to the next. So you can see that these modules have been structured in a way that they address all the aspects that are involved in crop production. So the second module is plant nutrition. So like I said, with agronomy, it's a science. So when it comes to plant nutrition, you understand the science that is involved in nutrition for the plants, the food that your plant needs. Just like us human beings, we need nutrients, we need minerals to grow, to be strong, and it's the same with the plant. So once we have the seed in the ground and germination starts, your plant requires to be fed. So in this module, you understand the nutrients that are required for the plant at different growth stages. And that is important because different nutrients will be required at different stages. Just like I said, with human beings, you require different nutrients, minerals, and food at different stages. Just like babies, they will drink milk. They're not strong enough to take solid foods. It's the same with plants. So you understand at what growth stage and what nutrients are required at that growth stage. So this is the module that will give you all that information. It will also make you understand the existing nutrients in your soil, what you have to add, but at the end of it, you'll also be able to formulate your own nutrition programs for your fields because you understand your soils, you understand the nutrients, and you can formulate a program. You know what kind of crop require what kind of nutrients. So this is the module that you have to look out for. If you're struggling with nutrition, you don't know what nutrition is required for what type of crop, this is the module that is for you. After the crop nutrition module, when you complete the crop nutrition module, you should be in a position to develop your own nutrition program at the farm for your crop. You should be able to understand the interaction of nutrients, water, and the soil. And you should also be in a position after this module to understand application rates, especially for fertilizers. You should be able to understand application rates. You should be able to understand the exact nutrients that are required at different stages. So you've understood your soils, you've planted, you've understood the interaction of your soil. You move on to the crop nutrition because your crop needs to be fed. You understand your fertilizers, your nutrition, your program, and understanding the deficiencies if your crop is lacking certain deficiencies. You understand all of that. And then the next, you move on now to the next, and the next module is a crop protection, because now that crop has to be protected. From the moment you put the seed in the ground, you have to protect it all the way to harvest. And even in storage, there are various pests that will attack your grain in storage. So crop protection starts from the moment you place the seed in the soil. And our third module on this highlight for today is crop protection. So crop protection, as the name states, it's basically protecting your crop from all the pests, from diseases, and we do this by understanding what pests affect the crop, what diseases affect the crop. So this module, when you take this module, it will help you understand the diseases for different type of crops. It will help you understand the pests, and not all pests are devastating. Because I think sometimes as farmers, we think everything that is flying in our field is dangerous. We have to kill it. Some of the pests are beneficial because we have the ecosystem. And in this ecosystem, we need a balance. Some of the pests, they'll be eating other pests which will feed on our crop. So we should understand that not all the pests. So with crop protection module, you understand which pest is devastating for this particular crop. So you find that a common pest, especially for the maize growers, could be the fall armyworm. It's devastating, but it loves cereals and it will do nothing to your soybeans. So if you sow it in the soybeans, it will not be devastating and you need not to worry about that. So you understand all of that. You understand thresholds as well, because when it comes to pests, threshold, economic threshold, this will give you an idea of whether you need to move into spray. So a threshold is what is the level of pest infestation in your field. This threshold will help in helping you to understand whether you need to carry out any measures or not. So you understand all of that. And you also understand the severity of the disease. You walk through the fields, you look at the leaves, you understand, is this a disease? Is this a nutrient deficiency? So this is what this protection module is all about. With the crop protection module, you learn how to create a sustainable crop protection program for your fields, for your crops. And for those who are into conventional crop protection measures like spraying, you also learn different products, chemicals that are out there, understand them, understand how they impact the environment, understand how they affect on the crop. You also understand recommended application rates, formulating your products, storing your products correctly, the pesticides, and also using them safely, because health and safety on the farm, especially when you are handling chemicals, that is very important. So that is where you learn all in this crop protection module. So it's not just protecting your crops, but also the users and everybody. Remember that we are looking at sustainable farming system, and we are looking at health of the people, we are looking at the environment, but at the same time, we want to have a successful cropping system. So after this module, the crop protection module, you'll be able to create your own programs, your spray programs. You'll be able to understand different products available to control different pests, different diseases. And you also be able to understand your deficiencies on your crops. But all of this is tying into protecting your crop, because we want to protect this crop. We are looking at maximizing our yields, and this module emphasizes on crop protection. So the three modules that I've highlighted, so you look at the soils, you look at cultivation systems, you look at your water, you come to the crop nutrition, feeding, you want to feed your crop. You feed your crop, you understand what your crop requires, but all in all, and at every stage, you're protecting your crop with a crop protection module. So this is the module that is going to equip you in protecting your crop throughout the growing season. So these have been highlights from 3 of our modules, and the bigger picture actually becomes bigger when we realize that we have so much that we have to learn to better our farming operations. And as for farmers and all of those looking to get into farming, commitment to continuous learning is key, because changes are ongoing and we have to adapt to changes. So how do you access these modules and all these trainings that are offered at the Martin Rickenhagen Future Farm? We have face-to-face trainings, and we also have online trainings. You can log on, and currently the online trainings are free. You can go to our website at agribusiness.com and access the free trainings, or you can come to the Future Farm for the face-to-face modules.
Welcome to the Martin Rickenhagen Future Farm, based in Lusaka, Zambia. The Martin Rickenhagen Future Farm is a modern state-of-the-art facility offering education and training in mechanized sustainable agriculture for farmers in Zambia and Africa. We offer facilities such as lecture rooms, student accommodation, and a state-of-the-art fitted kitchen and restaurant. We also offer facilities for business and social events. We hope you enjoy your experience here at the Future Farm.
Welcome back. We just finished talking to the agronomist, the farm specialist, Sheila, as to why knowledge is important and how to access knowledge. Felix, we're here with you today. You have been with us from the beginning. And what we are looking at today is this. We've looked at crop planning, crop planting, and we focused on the ground. We focused on the seed. We focused on depth to plant. We focused on moisture on the soil. But we've not focused on the individual farmer. Because when they watch us, they think it's so hard. They think, I don't have this, I don't have that. But we are saying if we bridge that gap with knowledge, it makes farming easier and more efficient. So I want you to tell us about, we're in your workshop 1 now in the Future Farm. What is this about? Why do we need knowledge of machines? What do you offer to our viewers, to Zambia, that makes farming, mechanized farming, easier?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. To the viewers, we are in workshop 1, just like Pastor Jerome has said. Knowledge is very important indeed. So today we are looking at mechanization. So to the farmers, those with the tractors, I urge them to bring their operators here so that they can be trained on how to operate these machines effectively.
So one of the things we do here is we train people. So if people say they don't know what to do, they can come here for training.
Indeed, yes. There are those who don't know how to operate these machines properly. Let them come here to Martin Richard Hagen Training and Training Center at the Future Farm. We will train them. We offer quite a number of trainings on mechanization. And after we've done that, we can assure them that those people will go out as skilled operators, and that's what we want to see. So for the farmers, you are welcome. Bring those operators here. We'll train them on tractor driving. That is one of the training packages that we offer. There is introduction, short course of objectives. There are about 20 and 11 sessions there. So when those operators come here, the trainees will train them on those ones, and as they walk out, they will be quite skillful. Skilled.
Why is knowledge important in mechanization? So you work with farms. You see, most of us as Zambians, the majority of us have not seen the value in mechanization. So oftentimes we're used to the laborious work, okay? Why is knowledge in mechanization and using machines important? What does it add to my farm? Why do I need it?
Knowledge in mechanization is very important in the way that a trained or a trained operator will actually cut down on fuel costs when using this machine. Like I said the other day, the skilled operator will use between 10 to 12% less fuel per day, as opposed to one who's never been trained. We train them on quite a number of techniques, especially when they are doing field works, on how to turn, how to lower their implements, the correct speed. So if somebody is not trained on those ones, then they may just end up using more fuel. They may also end up using more resources. You look at the tires. We also we train our operators on the correct pressures on the tires, especially when we are on the field. If you don't follow that, if you inflate too much air or pressure into those tires, you'll be helping them to get worn out within the shortest period of time. Then you may be using too much fuel. You may also be compacting the soils. When you are supposed to be loosening those soils in preparation for your planting, you'll be compacting those soils. So it's very important that those farmers with tractors should bring their operators here for training.
So if I am starting, let's say I've been watching you now. Every week I'm waiting for Felix to come. I don't know anything. Your courses you have, are they at professional level, intermediate level, introduction level? What kind of courses should I expect to get from you? Tell me about the courses, your modules, to introduce me into mechanization.
We offer professional mechanization courses here. The first one is the tractor driving. It's quite a package there with a lot of things in there. The second one is a hydraulics flow system. This operator needs to know more about hydraulics, because without knowledge on how the hydraulics flow system operates, they may not be able to hitch an implement and lift it or lower it. So that one, again, we teach them on flow type, the output in liters, and then we also have the PTO, which is the power takeoff. At the back of the tractor, that's where an operator can hitch. If they are mowing, that's where you hitch your mower. So that one is also a package into there. Then number 3, we have planters. Planters and sprayers, there we talk about calibration. We teach them about calibration. It's very important that our operators get to know how to calibrate their planters, their spinners, and also their sprayers if they are going to do good jobs. So if they don't know more about that, please get us here. Number 4, we have electronics. You know, for that machine, that tractor, for you to switch on the engine, you need to know more about electronics. There's a battery there, there's an alternator, the power sockets, the fuses that are there, and then there's also the battery isolator. If you don't know where it is, somebody will just isolate that and you may not be able to start that tractor. Number 4, we have tractor fundamentals, or should I say engine fundamentals for the engine. You know, this operator who is operating this machine need to know more about the engine. What is the engine? Why is this engine important to the tractor? What does the engine do? So without that engine, you may not have power or energy to power your assignments that are there on the tractor. So we have internal combustion. We teach them what is internal combustion and why is that internal combustion important to the engine. Then we also have transmission, rear and front axles. These are those axles where you attach your tires, your wheels in the front and then at the back. What's the importance and how can you service, how can you maintain them to make sure that you don't have any problems arising to that. We also have the 3-point linkage. This one is also very important. It's at the back of each tractor, each and every tractor that is in good shape. Those are the arms that lift your implement. It's very important for somebody to get to know more about the 3-point linkage, because if you hit that implement, there are lessons that we teach concerning how to set your implement so that you don't have any problems when you go on the field. Then finally, we have tractor and implements. The tractor and implements, that's the hitching or attaching an implement safely to the tractor, and also an attaching. If you attach that implement safely, you are also supposed to attach it safely and leave it in a place that is going to be safe without causing danger to anybody that may be around. We also teach on working width. The working width also comes into the tractor and implements. You can take just imagine the tractor operator has been given an assignment to go and work. The manager will tell him to say, I want you to plant this seed at 5 centimeters deep or maybe at 7. So if this person is trained, they will know what to do. They will make those adjustments without having any issues. We are also going to, we also teach about working horsepower. Any attachment that is attached to the tractor, before you even think of doing that, you need to know the horsepower required so that you may not ruin or damage your tractor. Maybe this implement, let's say it's a reaper, it may be a 5-ton reaper, it's quite big, and somebody who is not trained will just bring a smaller tractor, attach it there, and then the tractor may just fumble to do the work. So those are the things that our operators need to get into consideration. Finally, correct gears and speed. That's what, again, we train them, our operators here. They need to know the correct gears. When you are just on the road, you are transporting things to somewhere, to the warehouse, and the correct gears when you are doing field operations. Because you can't be doing high gears. You cannot be in high gears when you are reaping or maybe disking or doing those field, you are using field engaging implements. So these are the trainings that we offer here. They're quite professional. We have trained quite a number of people. And from the time that we started training them, there has never been any issue, because we do make follow-ups. Every year we go there, ask them questions, do some refresher courses. And
you do a lot of training in safety, because I see this, I was asking, why do you have this? So what safety have to do with your training? How much importance do you put onto safety?
Yeah, on each module of our trainings, the first thing we talk about is safety, health and safety. I think you can see there are those signs on the tractor. They are there to tell you to say, please stay away from this machine. and then in the warehouse, in the workshop here, as you can see those symbols there. So number one, on health and safety, the heading there is operator responsibility and the risk assessment. So the operator, when he's given an assignment, they need to know that they are responsible for that tractor and they should make sure that they operate safely, and then they're supposed to do risk assessment before they even get on the tractor or before they begin to do their assignments. So under safety, health and safety, we have safety boots, or PPE, should I say, personal protective equipment, where before we train somebody, we ask them to come with the safety boots or any shoe with good sole grip, so that there are no slippages as they are driving those tractors, because that can just cause accidents. Other than that, we also teach them how to find information in the manual, the operator's manual.
You have a manual, so everyone
yes,
comes with a manual.
Yes, each tractor comes with a manual, and we make sure that that manual is supposed to be kept in the tools box for this operator. In case something pops up on the screen which they don't know, they can always refer. If they've forgotten, they can always refer to the manual. So again,
So sorry, Felix. So the advantage, therefore, of training is that, one, I recognize the business, so I must learn to lower my overheads, and the more I train, the cheaper my production gets.
Yes.
The cheaper my operations are, the more efficient my turnaround time, the more efficient my machines and tools, the longevity of the lifespan of my machines goes better.
Yes.
And it all depends on the operator, the knowledge of the operator.
Yes, well spoken there. If this farmer owns a tractor and he has a well-trained operator, the costs will be cut down, because they are going to be doing their daily checkups. They will make sure that that tractor, the life of that tractor is prolonged. Then that tractor will be available at any given time. If it's hired or is to do an assignment, any operation, that tractor will be there at any given time to go and work. Again, there we're saying that that tractor will yield a lot of profits for the owner, because for somebody to buy a tractor, it is expensive. So indeed, they need to have well-trained operators to drive those tractors so that they can also get their profits back.
Good. So Felix, thank you. When workshop 1, and how do we get this training? If I want the training now, what do I do? Website, come to your office? How do I get the training? How do I register?
For those who want to come and register for these trainings, they can come to our office. We're situated along Greatest Road, opposite Ban Motel. The name of this company or farm is Martin Richard Hagen, a training and training center at the Future Farm.
Okay.
Or they can also get our information on the website.
Your website address?
The website address.
Well, find Felix.
Sure.
Okay, so just go to AGCO Future Farm Zambia, and you will find the website, and you will get all the knowledge. You want to come in here, please come and join us, see what we're doing. The better trained we are as operators, the better we maximize, scale up, and utilize our resources to profit as businessmen and women in agribusiness. So Felix, thank you very much. It's been awesome with you. Thank you so much. Next week, what are you cooking for me?
We'll cook for you vegetables produced from here.
Awesome.
With tomatoes.
With your machines?
With our machines, I think we'll show you, because we've started planting, and we are still planting.
Awesome. Sure. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Future Farmer, we're going on now to very soon talking to what other facilities we have here. But thank you for being with us. We'll see you on the other side. Don't go away. Future Farmer Show continues.
The Future Farm is really about generating knowledge and knowledge about farming. How can you make knowledge more profitable? How can knowledge work? Not just provide food on your table, but also to be a business. Because we know that farming is really the employment of over 60% of Zambians and actually over 40% of Africans.
The benefits of having mechanization on our farms, quite a number of them. One of them is you have good quality of work on your farm.
So to the existing farmers, what is key with farming and the future of farming is that you need to be knowledgeable.
We're still the Future Farmer Show. Welcome to this segment. This segment we're looking into what is agriculture and agribusiness. Today we have a very, very esteemed guest. And we want to see the whole program, the whole purpose of this program is how do we take advantage of the opportunity of agriculture to transform our nation. So like we said, the Leadership Farm, we're here to see that Zambia is a first world nation. We want to work with that between now and 2064. And to do that, we must begin to take advantage of every opportunity. And therefore today we are privileged to have one practitioner, someone that is not just practicing, is living it. He has lived it, he has come through it, and I hope he'll give us. We have Mr. Patrick Shatamuka with us today. He's from the Women Entrepreneurship Access Center. And they've been doing some work in Zambia over the last 5 years, and we want to hear what they've been doing. But today, Patrick, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
We really are honored to have you here.
It's actually a pleasure to be around, and also just to share some of the important things WIAC has been doing and
Fantastic.
How we've been part of the development, considering that you're talking about agribusiness.
Yes.
And we, from a background when we started in 2015, so meaning we've been around almost like 6 years. Yes. So it's quite interesting to see that a number of us are looking at how do we take our country forward using entrepreneurship, if I may put that way, or enterprise development vis-a-vis agriculture, which is a resource we have.
Okay.
Women Entrepreneurship Access Center, which we call WIAC, started as We Create Zambia.
Okay.
And our focus was on empowering the women with universal tools on how to start and grow their businesses. Okay. So over time and during this journey, we saw that a number of the women or a number of our participants were more into agriculture, processing, and so many other programs which we did run. So that's how we started looking at specific programs that will tackle agriculture or agro-processing. So briefly, let's see what I can say about WIAC, but okay. It was started in partnership with the government of the United States.
Okay.
Yes, and our office humbly started in Chawama, where we were dealing with the marketeers. And from there, we saw that there was a lot of potential. We have one lady who was also growing some potatoes. She was even called the potato queen. So it's from this journey that we have seen that agriculture is something which people should focus on and start looking at it as a business. And we have programs to that effect.
So let's talk about this, because that's what I'd like to get out of here. This program is about how do we we've been talking about crop planting, crop planning, but we want to take a step back and say to ourselves, in spite of putting things in the ground, if you don't put things first in the person, you're not going to get product from the ground. Because it's not about the farm. Last Sunday, I was highlighting the fact that God created the whole world. And in creating the whole world, there was no grass. In Genesis, it says there was no grass, there was no plant. Why? Because there was nobody to till the ground. And there was no rain. So you realize that you can have all the resources, but still have poverty because of the way people think about things. So let's tap into your experience. You said 75% of the people you have worked with have done agriculture. How do people see agriculture? And what's the difference between agriculture and agribusiness from your WIAC perspective? What is agriculture? How do they see agriculture? And what is agribusiness? And why are you investing your time in trying to get women from agriculture to agribusiness?
What is very interesting, I would take you back to when you are looking at a person's mindset, the way they look at it. Agriculture, when most of the people are looking at agriculture, they look at tradition, culture. And then when we talk about agribusiness, we are saying, can you look at agriculture as a business, where you need to practice all the necessary steps that a business person who is doing mining, a person who is doing manufacturing is doing. So it starts from how do you inculcate the culture of, for instance, planning which crop to grow. And they have to know if they're going to grow crop A, crop B, what is the cost which is going to be involved in there. And they have also to look at the market, who is going to buy. So we bring in the sense of a person taking agriculture as a business.
Why have people not seen agriculture as a business?
It has been traditionally taken that you just go to the field, grow for consumption. And it's maybe because people haven't realized that agriculture, everything, clothes, everything comes from the ground.
Yes.
But they have not applied, more especially in our local Zambia, maybe, let me put it that way. Like me who grew up in the copper belt, I grew up to be just going Kumavalaya. You just go, and it was only for home consumption. Neither did we see that the same can be turned into a business. So us coming in is to tell the people to say, no, this you can make money, you can actually create employment from the same farming, but all what you need to do is to put systems in place. And that's why we're asking people, we are training people, or we are sharing, facilitating with people to develop an entrepreneurial mind that is going to make them see anything they see, an opportunity they see, how do they turn that opportunity into an economic sense. And lately, we're talking about people, planet, and profit. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at how do I also affect my community.
My environment, my community.
Like for instance, in our programming, we came up with an accelerator program which we called Africa Food 360.
Please, Scott. So Patrick, you were telling us why people do not see agriculture as a business. And you said it's part of our culture. Now, in this our cultural look, when you look at it, most of the time you do agriculture if you go to school, as a subject. And most of the time that subject is punishment subject. That means you fail, they throw you to do agriculture. So nobody associates with it. Most of the time the farmer is the subsistence farmer. That's the picture we see. And if we see another farmer, which most people don't see, is the big commercial farmer, which is oftentimes a white man.
Yes.
We don't see in between. Now, in your experience, working with 75% of the people that are women, why don't we see this whole value chain? Why don't we see what agriculture can bring into? Why do we rather go and look for a job wearing a tie when everybody can be gainfully employed practicing agribusiness? What do you think? What do you say to that? Explaining to us what this entrepreneurship is that changes agriculture to agribusiness.
Okay, I think I'll start by giving a very practical example, how you can see that somebody is thinking entrepreneurial. When a person grows groundnuts, and for instance, he planted to say, okay, I'm expecting to have about 10 bags. And then I'm going to sell these 10 bags at a certain price. And it so happens that he gets 1 bag instead of the 10. An entrepreneur is not going to look at it as a failure. He's going to look at, I planned to have 10 bags, but I have 1. What value can I add to the groundnut so that I can even get more money than if I'd sold 10, 50 bags. Okay. So now this is where an entrepreneur is a person who is going to look at the challenge they have and see from this challenge, how do I turn my groundnuts from selling them raw or unshelled, let me shell this 1 bag and then fry it and then start selling them in a pack so that I can make a bit of money.
So the problem we have in a nutshell Not in a grand nutshell, now in a nutshell.
Yes.
The problem we have, therefore, is the way we've been programmed to think.
Yes.
If I use that, because somebody will say, I didn't get 10 bags, I got 1 bag. You are talking about value addition. You are talking about seeing things in a different way. So probably the reason why we are where we are with regards to agriculture, transiting to agribusiness, is the primary, customary, traditional way we have been making people think, which is why this program is very important there, to make people see agriculture differently, to make people have an entrepreneurial mind. So what are you doing as an organization to bring about this transition from this traditional mindset, which is fixed, to this growth mindset, which produces and generates income?
What we are doing is to give them some lessons, topics, capacity building that actually challenges you as a person. Because there's a concept we use which we call bootstrapping. Bootstrapping.
Please explain that.
Bootstrapping we mean to say, because most average, even those who are in any other businesses, the first thing somebody is going to tell you is, Patrick, I want money so that I can start a business. The question you ask him, have you ever used any little money to start a business before? No. Use the available resources that you have so that you can see traction, go to the market, go and fail. Then from there you're going to learn what is the market looking for? What am I supposed to do? So even when it comes to a farmer, a person who has actually been looking at just that land as in my traditional thing, or it is not capital, we help people to see that the land you have is the resource that you can turn into having money. For instance, I'll give an example. When we are moving in these villages, you are going to teach people about entrepreneurship. They'll tell you the best challenge we have is we have no water here. We want the government to come and sink a borehole. So if you want to help somebody start thinking, not giving them a lot of jargon, you just tell them, okay, fine, let's sit down together here. How many chickens do you have? How many goats do you have? Does anyone in this village have a goat? Yes. How much is a goat? No, it's about 150. When the government uses their money to come and sink a boat, it's how much? It's maybe 1,000 and all these things. So if among you, about 10 people sold their goats, that comes to almost 1,500. Are you telling me that you can't tell people to come and dig a borehole using your available resources? So we go in to give them that they have the resource, they have the capacity. All they need to do is let them just move away from the traditional thinking. We help them see that the value they have, the resources they have, where they are, is what they can use. So we help them see the importance in the resources they have, and also help them to say, it's not about money, it's about how you manage 1 + 1 every day and how you do your recording. There's a notion to say maize is very expensive, you can't grow maize because you don't make any profit. You ask them, how do you know that you are not making any profit? If you want to know that maize is not profitable, could you please start from the day you're going to plow? How much did you put in? How much did you...
So you must keep records.
You must keep records and keep track of every cost. And then when you come and sell, then you'll be able to say, maize is very it's quite expensive.
Okay.
So for you to just say this can't work, it doesn't work out like that. So in our job or in our journey to change the people's thinking, we actually do practical examples. So it's just a matter of helping them understand that there's a gap in the market. And if there's a gap in the market, let me take advantage of this gap. People look at money as the only source of starting a business, but the source of starting a business is actually an opportunity. Yes. When you see an opportunity and you understand your market, and that's when you go in to fill that opportunity, and that's how you're going to get your money. So even when we are talking about entrepreneurship, for us from WIAC, we don't look at the opportunity of bringing in a lot of jargon. We want to be as practical as we can, so that people start realizing that this I can do and I have this at my disposal, you know.
So a lot of us can change our living if we embrace, if we can have a mind shift, that what we have every day, the land we have, can change our lives. If you travel through Zambia, you see land everywhere, and nobody most of the time is using those land, except when you come to big commercial farms and you see irrigation and all that. But otherwise, it's just forest. We can change that if we change the way Zambians think about agriculture.
Yes, because even like I mentioned, one of our programs which we did, Africa Food 360. Yes. Africa Food 360, we were working with agro-processors. But where do the agro-processors get their raw material? And the agro-processor will get the raw material from a small-scale holder farmer. And this small-scale holder farmer, if he doesn't have an entrepreneurial mind, is not going to produce the right quality and right quantity of what this agro-processor wants. So it's a chain. I process, and if I don't have this person who is going to take their farming as a business, the next time when I'm going to have a big order from ShopRite,
I can't go there.
I can't go there because I have no raw material, because the source takes it as my... It's just something like farming is my way of living, but we are trying to inculcate. So we are given an opportunity even to go into these small-scale holder farmers, and we are giving them a program we call Farmers Business Simulation. It's a board game, regardless if you know how to read, at least you must be able to. It teaches them on how do you do your planning, start from crop selection, crop rotation, contract farming, and looking at things like marketing, so that these people, and also production, so that these people must realize that if I don't produce my maize, for instance, there will be no milling meal. Because a farmer doesn't actually see that if I deliberately don't produce my maize, then people will stop eating. Because
they don't think that.
They don't think
they
that.
Don't see that.
They don't see that until they see that I'm a very important component in this value chain. You say, okay, we are not going to produce the maize, you guys stop. Because for Zambia, it's staple food, which is, and the sooner they realize that just providing that maize requires one to be systematic, requires one to realize that he must come and do it again, and that's making them think business.
How do we reach you? Lots of people, this edition of this program today is focusing on how to get this skill, this information to everybody watching. They've been following us now for 3-4 weeks. We want to see how does everybody, we've talked about farming, planting, this, that, but the knowledge that brings the change in that mindset is important. So how do we get to you at WIAC? How does everybody watching, are you just for women, or are you for everybody? How do we get to you so that we can get the entrepreneurial knowledge to go out there and make agriculture a business?
We are currently located at 22 Kasangura Road, in Roma. And we are also on Facebook, just we are Zambia. You can go on
Women Entrepreneurship Access Center.
But it's just WIAC.
It's just
WIAC
WIAC.
Zambia.
W-E-A-C Zambia.
Yes, WEAC Zambia.org, even on our website.
Okay.
But of course, they can still reach me on my cell phone.
Please give us your number, 0977 487714.
Yes, 0977 48 77 14.
Okay.
Anytime people can reach us.
And you are the head of operations and programs at WIAC.
Yes, and an entrepreneur as well.
You should, I'm going to have you again, and you're going to tell me your personal story, how you came
Yes.
into entrepreneurship, because that is amazing.
Yes, and one thing I can remind my fellow viewers
Yes, please talk directly to them.
or colleagues who are in Zambia is we have a saying which says, stop talking, start doing. We believe in a lot of doing, and that has helped a number of people to see their products on the shelves. We have people whose products are in ShopRite, Pick and Pay. So when you get to WIAC, you stop talking and you start doing.
You start doing.
Yes.
Well, Zambia, we're looking at stopping to talk and starting to do on the Future Farmer Show. The Future Farmer Show is looking at the opportunity of agriculture, and we are saying, how do we convert agriculture to be the biggest opportunity to employ Zambians? Why? We don't just feed Zambia, we feed the whole of Africa, we feed the whole of the world. We export, it brings foreign exchange. There's so much to do. And we are saying we don't want to look at you as just a small subsistence farmer. We can look at you as a commercial farmer, not by white people, but by Zambians. And if we start by engaging with people like we are and talking to Patrick, they can start filling the gap. So we have brought to you AGCO, our agriculture company, and AGCO works with WEA in bringing Zambians from moving from this part to that part. And Patrick, it's been wonderful having you on our program today. We hope you will come more often to tell us more about what WEAC is doing and to give us tips about how to build ourselves entrepreneurially. It's been awesome having you. You want to last word to the people watching you?
If you come to WEAC, we say business starts at WEAC.
Okay.
Meaning, if you had an idea, we'll make that idea into a product, we'll make that idea into a service, and we'll help to grow together, because our role is to see that Zambia grows economically and a lot of people start benefiting socially. So at WEAC, we say it's impact at scale. We are so big at seeing the impact in the lives of people. Many lives we've seen, many businesses have started. So you're very much welcome, and we'll be very happy to have you around.
Thank you. So thank you. We've been talking to WEAC how to convert the agriculture to agribusiness, the Zambian to move from this end to this other end. Agriculture is business, and until we start taking it as serious business, we lose on the opportunity. Let's make agriculture something. Join us as we continue in the other sections. Future Farmer Show.
Welcome back. Remember, last week I promised to show you another exciting spot at the Martin Rickenhagen Future Farm. I know you've already started making those plans of the festive season, and the Martin Rickenhagen Future Farm should be your first choice when making that decision. Our farm is situated in Silverest area along Great East Road, 3 kilometers away from the airport roundabout. It could only take you 5 minutes drive to get to our destination. We have 24 units, all self-contained, air-conditioned, nice study table, and we also have a facility center where you can go and watch TV, you play mini soccer, we have a pool table there, we have a mini bar, and of course a fully serviced laundry facility. Our room rate includes bed and breakfast, all served in the restaurant. We do have a beautiful modern restaurant with an international cuisine. For bookings, you can contact us using the number showing on the screen, or you can drop us an email at info_agrifuturefarm@agcocorp.com. Thank you for watching and see you next week.
Welcome to the Martin Rickenhagen Future Farm, based in Lusaka, Zambia. The Martin Rickenhagen Future Farm is a modern state-of-the-art facility offering education and training in mechanized sustainable agriculture for farmers in Zambia and Africa. We offer facilities such as lecture rooms, student accommodation, and a state-of-the-art fitted kitchen and restaurant. We also offer facilities for business and social events. We hope you enjoy your experience here at the Future Farm.
Welcome back, everybody. We are still talking mind shift. And one of the areas we must shift our minds is people think agriculture is some dirty business, it's for people that have failed, it's for people that don't have any future ambition, and we don't see the opportunities in agriculture, particularly for young people. Most people think the farmer is that old person or that house woman there or something. And we feel that agriculture is just putting a hoe to the ground and planting and harvesting. But we don't see the opportunities in farming, in agriculture. So this segment, we want to look at a young man, absolutely brilliant man, that is making a life and living from agriculture and not necessarily from planting in the ground. So we're going to be hearing from Moses, where he started from, what he's doing, and he's going to open our eyes into different opportunities that may exist for young people in this agribusiness sector. And then we'll come back after Moses to show you conclusion, talking back with Sheila, concluding the program, showing us different other things that we can do and look forward to doing in agribusiness. So on the Future Farmer Show, what are the opportunities for young people to do in agribusiness? Let's talk to Moses.
Hi viewers, I come from a background that both my parents appreciated agriculture. Since my childhood, I developed interest of also doing farming without knowledge of how to do it or what it's all about. But after I developed myself in academics, I realized that farming is indeed something that you can rely on, because my parents used the same money that they made from their horticulture and also their commercial, their subsistence farming, to take me and my brothers to school, also to meet our needs and our wants. I just want to encourage you that agriculture is a way and the key that you can also make a living out of it. After joining Martin Rich and Hagen Future Farm, for it is an agriculture company that is, deals with different agricultural machinery. My interest developed even more. I decided I was called to manage one of our horticultural fields, which I also decided to take myself to school and also further myself in the area of horticulture. I had to run the horticultural garden and also manage the crop from land preparation, planting, even selling of the crop. Agriculture is for young people, of course. Like I said, it helped us to meet our needs. A lot of young people say agriculture is for people who are retired, but it's not. A business should start from your mindset, and the business should be something that you learn. You don't just have to go in a business when you are old. It's something that you need to develop and also know how to do it. As you get older, you even better it up. Yes, I am a trained horticulturist. I am a certified horticulturist. I can grow a crop. I can grow a crop from land preparation, from seed to seedling, and also harvest. A horticulturist is one who grows vegetables, for example, tomatoes, cabbages, all those that you need in your kitchen. Yes, even onions, tomatoes. Yes, before I used to think anybody can grow vegetables, but it's something that also requires knowledge for one to do. It's not just something whereby you wake up and it's not just something that you wake up and start doing. It's something that you need to also have knowledge and interest. For me, as an horticulturist, I have passion of what I do. I love what I do. It's not something that I'm forced or because I saw my parents doing, but it's something that I have the passion and the love for. Yes, I can feed my family from what I grow. I can take myself to school. I can take my family to school through growing crops. opportunities are massive on the ground. A lot of people today, everyone eats. For one to eat, that means they need something for them to use. So opportunities are wide enough. It's just one to have the knowledge and one to have the interest of being a farmer or being an horticulturalist. So the other opportunity that I've learned from Martin Richard Hagen Future Farm is digital agriculture. Digital agriculture is the use of technology that allows you to collect, receive, and send data from your fields to your either mobile phone or your computer. So the way this system is, you go in the field, you don't need to carry a book or a pen. I'll call it as a smart agriculture. You don't need to carry a book or your pen. You just go with your mobile phone, I would rather say smartphone, in your field, then get some scouting reports of how the crop is doing or the status of the field at that moment, and you just load it on the gadget, and the gadget sends to your computer. Whoever is in the UK or wherever in the world, if they're able to access that software, they're able to see and also analyze what the crop is talking to us. Digital agriculture helps us to analyze how the crop is performing in the field, also helps us to monitor how the crop is, and also monitor machinery as they work in the fields. So digital agriculture helps us to collect data in the field for decision makings. Even we store data for the future use. Okay, first I developed interest from my parents. Second, I began to upgrade myself in academics of becoming an horticulturalist. Third, I'm now an agronomist assistant with Martin Richard Hagen Future Farm, and also I'm also managing the digital side of the farm. What I can encourage to you, my fellow farmers, is that farming is not it's not a dirty work as some of you might put it, but I would encourage you that there are lots of interesting things. There are a lot of interesting things in agriculture, especially to some of my fellow friends who are learned. You can also manage in agriculture digitally.
So we've heard from Moses. Did you hear what Moses said? As a young person, how he started, and there is digital agriculture. There is agronomy. Viewers, we've been talking to all our partners. You've heard us talk to Sheila, we've talked to Felix, we've talked to Patrick. We have seen Namonga tell us more things we offer here on the Future Farmer Show and the Future Farm in Lusaka. And then we talked to a young, vibrant Zambian, Moses, and he showed us the opportunities availing for young people. And Sheila has just told us there's many more. And you told us your secret today. So your value agronomy puts your money up.
Exactly.
We will bring the offering baskets to you. So you have heard us. Agriculture is huge. It is not just wearing dirty clothes and going under the sun. There's so much money in it. There's data agriculture, is it digital agriculture, and all those things. Join us next week on the Future Farmer Show as we give you much more on why this opportunity can employ. You don't have to line up, I beg to apply, I beg to apply. What are you begging for? Go and farm and make millions of kwacha, serving this nation, changing our economies, because agriculture is serious business. Thank you, Sheila, for joining us today.
Thank you
God
for
richly
having me.
bless you.
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to talking to you some more next
Definitely.
week. All right, viewers, God bless you. Have a wonderful week. We will see you on Sunday on the Future Farmer Show. Bye-bye.
The Future Farm is really about generating knowledge and knowledge about farming. How can you make knowledge more profitable? How can knowledge work? Not just provide food on your table, but also to be a business. Because we know that farming is really the employment of over 60% of Zambians and actually over 40% of Africans.
The benefits of having mechanization on our farms, quite a number of them. One of them is you have good quality of work on your farm.
So to the existing farmers, what is key with farming and the future of farming is that you need to be knowledgeable.